Welcome again, YouTubers. This is Edward here at the Golden Palace Swimming Pool and Tower in Mindanao, Philippines, deep in the jungle. And I really do. I live pretty far out in the jungle. We have snakes, spiders, every kind of bug and bird that you can think of, where the ecosystem works really well still, not where it's been destroyed in much of the world. But today's subject is top 5 most shocking things to me personally that I experienced in the Philippines. And the number one shocking thing you're going to be very surprised of, and that's the one I'll say at the end of the video. But if you like this content, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Number five of the most shocking things in the Philippines was the fact that when I moved here from the US, how easy it was to find really most of what I needed from day to day. So number 1 is ease of living. Or number 5 is ease of living. And when I say that, I mean, I don't need credit cards or bank accounts or any of that kind of stuff. As long as you have cash, if you bring US dollars or whatever currency that the country that you come from, bring those into the country with you, and you can convert them into pesos right at the airport, the international airport, and it's really a pretty good rate there. Actually, it's one of the better rates that I found going to different cities and towns in the Philippines, trying to do a conversion rate. When you come into the international airport, there's bank outlets there, and that's probably your best rates you're going to find for conversion rates for your currency into Philippine pesos. Once you have your Philippine pesos, that's all you need. And then every single month, if you do remittances from your retirement account, Social Security, or wherever your money is coming in that you remit from your U.S. or your country's bank account, you can remit right to these pawn shops like Palawan Pawn or El Melior, and there's several, but those are the two I use the most in the Philippines for places to remit your money in cash transfer to. And so that was very convenient for me because I didn't have to establish new bank accounts or anything here. And you can remit those remittances to yourself. You just have to go to those places, and they'll take photo ID of your, or a photo of your photo IDs, and then make an account for you so you can remit cash to yourself from your bank wherever country you come from. So it's very easy as far as the financial goes in converting it to pesos. Once you have pesos, you're good to go because, right? Cash, you can do anything with cash in whatever country you're in. The Philippines is one of them. That's very easy. A lot easier than what you would think. There's some hard things, but anyways, that's easy. That's number 5, and that's really a big one. Number 4 is the second part of the ease of living as far as what you can purchase of healthy, delicious foods that you're used to in your own country, like bananas, a variety of fruits, apples, oranges, and you get all the specialty stuff here too that you can't find in your country probably too. And maybe you can in some expensive specialty stores in your country, but here, like mango, guava, kiwi, pineapple, that stuff is delicious. It's fresh, and there's farmers market stands everywhere in the Philippines. Okay, so don't worry about getting the foods and the kinds of diet that you need here in the Philippines. There's many Filipino dishes also that you can just try and see which ones that you like and ones that you think is good for your diet, right? There's so many, and it's all fairly inexpensive. Yes, inflation's going up here a little bit too, but not as much as the first world countries. Because why? The people here are close to the land, lots of farmers, lots of mom and pops. Not everything is corporatized here. It's not big, huge corporations. It's all mostly mom and pops, unless you're in the big cities, going to these big malls, which that's available too if you're going to plan on living in one of the bigger cities. Probably, but so don't really worry about it. It's really, really awesome here. Number 3 on the list is affordability of housing and places like that for rent, or if you're going to buy land, or if you're going to buy a house or build a house. The affordability is pretty darn cheap here, especially for rent. $300, $400 per month of US dollars. If you convert that into pesos, every $100 is approximately 5,000 pesos. So if it's $300 US dollars a month, that's 15,000 pesos per month. And that's pretty darn cheap here compared to the US and some of the first world countries. So affordability of housing, very cheap. And a lot of these places that you're going to rent, you usually have to pay for your own electricity. So that's added to that. And electricity costs for an apartment is probably, I don't know. I just go kind of by some of these other sites, what they're saying of that. And some of the friends that we have here, if they're renting, it's very cheap. It's maybe 500,000 pesos a month, depending on how much you're using, of course, right? But it's rare to get a rental where the electricity is included. Usually it's always additional cost. So keep that in mind if you're going to rent. If you're going to buy, you can't buy as a foreigner. But if you have married a Filipina or are engaged to be married, you can buy a house in her name. And as a married foreigner to her, you can get on the deeds of a house or land here. So don't worry about that. You will be on the deed. And if for any reason you guys sell, it would be split 50-50 on that. So keep that in mind too. And if she passes away, or if the Filipino, if you're a man or woman or whatever, if the Filipino should pass away for any reason, the foreigner that's still on the deed has 1 year either to sell that property or to sign that property over to another Filipino. So keep that in mind. That's really good information to know. Okay, and what are we on? Number two of the most shocking moments that I had when I first came to the Philippines is the availability of gold, and not so much silver, but gold, and how gold here is so available as a what do you call it, as a store of wealth, because everything runs on gold in Southeast Asia, including the Philippines. So yes, cash is your daily needs and expenses and all that. Cash is used, but the store of wealth is gold in the Philippines. It's not, let's go put your money in the bank. It's not how it works here. How it works here is if you have extra money, you put it in gold and silver. So keep that in mind, that no matter what happens, you have your wealth in your own hands. Yes, you can put your gold in a safety deposit box in a bank if you want, but there's all other vaulted areas that you can keep your wealth safe here. Also, part of that is your protection here in the Philippines. It is very, very, I can't say easy, but it is very, very low in crime here, right? So your protection is not really that much of a concern. Yes, you're going to hear sometimes people were kidnapped or people were killed or whatever. You know what? Philippines is the lowest crime rate of majority of the countries around the world, and way lower than the U.S. or Europe, way lower. So don't get scared if the State Department puts on their website, "Oh, be careful, danger, danger, Philippines, danger." You know what? I'm in Mindanao, so there's many warnings not to go to live to Mindanao, and I've been here for years. 8 years off and on, and 3.5 years permanent resident. So don't worry about it. Number two. As far as, which is the most shocking to me, is also your whole immigration, visas or for foreigners here. Very easy to take care of. All you have to do is the easiest, and what I do. A lot of these other, work visas and there's letters to some of these visas that I'm really not too much up on because I've never had to use them, but some people have to go in every 3 or 6 months and renew their visas and stuff like that. Well, the visa that I do is called the Bilik Bayan visa. It's not even really a visa. It's so easy, it's unbelievable. Okay, but first you have to be married, right? So your Filipina that you're married to has to have same last name as you. So when you're entering the country at the international airport or a port with a ship, all you do is going through customs, you just say, "We're married, here's our passports," and they verify that you have the last same name, and make sure you have your marriage certificate with you just to be sure, but we've never had to show it. And they just say, "Okay, your Bilik Bayan visa," and they stamp your passport for 1 year good in the country. So then every year when it's getting close to that time, all you do is fly out of the country for 2-3 days a week, whatever you want as a vacation or a getaway, short getaway. We usually go to Hong Kong, but you can go to Taiwan or you can go to Thailand, or Vietnam or any of the little countries that are in Southeast Asia as a short trip. You can even go to Guam if you want. It's a little bit more expensive, a little bit further away, or even Hawaii if you choose to do that. And then come back and, whatever your timeline is. But then, like I say, all they do is they stamp it for 1 year and you're good to go. No extra cost, no extra anything. Just you have to plan a trip once a year. That's it. Okay, and the number one most shocking to me by far, and it is not poverty, the poverty in this country, but that wasn't the shocking part of it, is the poverty. Right? Yes, many Filipinos are poor. Philippines is considered third world countries. But you know what? This is the most shocking thing to me of that. There's so many people in the poverty level. Like even in this barangay, it's 55% poverty level for, I'm sorry, not this barangay, but this municipalities. And there's probably 30 barangays in this municipality of mine in particular. The poverty level's over 50%. But the most shocking part of that is how happy the people are here in their poverty. It's unbelievable how kind we get neighbors that bring us fruit and vegetables, and when they have a fiesta or something, they'll bring us part of their lechon pork or any of their specialty dishes, and we try to do the same thing when we have a harvest of vegetables or a harvest of fruits or something. We share to the community, and that's the most shocking to me of how poor people are here. But you know what? They're happier than any people that I have ever known of any other country I've ever been in, especially the U.S. The U.S. people are miserable. They complain all the time, and they're supposedly well off. So that kind of tells you right there that money is really not the answer to your happiness in this life. It's being poor. I mean it. So be happy in what you have, really, no matter where you're at. But I'm telling you, if you escape to the Philippines like I did from America, you're going to be much happier here. Well, I love you guys. Take care. I hope that helps you out a little bit on the information of the Philippines. And until next time, God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.